Welcome to Spotlight on Lakewood. I'm Mayor Adam Paul, and today we are out at the Rooney Road Recycling Center to take a look at a great community amenity, one that is very important. I'm joined today by Chris Neighbor and Pat Matthews, who are members of the Rooney Road Recycling Authority Committee. Thanks for having us out here today.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. You provide a very important service to the community, and want to just start with hearing a little bit about it.
The Rooney Road Recycling Center is a permanent facility that collects and recycles and disposes of household chemicals and waste and electronics for citizens of Lakewood and 8 other member jurisdictions. And this is so important because if these materials are landfilled or go into the storm sewers or sanitary sewers, they eventually make their way into our groundwater and surface water, contaminating our food, our water, and wildlife.
So what are some examples of household hazardous waste?
Well, that includes things like paint, electronics, solvents, cleaners, pesticides, herbicides, fertilizer, motor oil, antifreeze, batteries, anything that you could think of that you might be storing in your garage, your shed out back, or your basement, things that you wouldn't want your kids to get into.
Yeah. So essentially things that you might go to the hardware store and buy, use a little bit of it, and then you just start, like a lot of us, start to store it up in the garage, and the last thing we want is for that stuff to go to an actual landfill.
Right, exactly.
So is there a cost involved? I know nothing's free, and it's probably expensive to recycle things.
Well, for the citizens of Lakewood and the other member jurisdictions, it costs $20 for up to 75 pounds of household chemicals, and then the member jurisdictions subsidize the rest of that cost. If they bring more than 75 pounds, they pay for the full recycling fee, but they can always come back another time and pay the $20. For electronics, it's $1.25 a pound, up to a maximum of $100 for a TV. Okay.
So you're open certain times of the week?
Yes, Wednesdays and Saturdays from 8 to 2. During the summer, sometimes we add an additional day, just since we're so busy. And it's by appointment only. That way people can get in and out really quickly, and they can go online at rooneyroadrecycling.org to make a really fast and easy appointment.
And what about some of our residents who may not be able to get out here? Is there opportunity for them to have their things recycled? Yes,
we provide a really great option. It's once a month pickup at people's houses for just $30, so just $10 more. And they don't even have to be there while it's picked up. And this is especially great for senior citizens, people who can't get their items here by themselves.
Yeah. So can businesses use the facility?
Yes, we really encourage small businesses to come here. Those would be businesses that generate less than 220 pounds of hazardous waste a month, or have on hand 2,200 pounds in their possession at any one time, and they pay the full cost of recycling. And so that's a really great benefit to the environment.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you very much for that little introduction.
You bet.
So when and why was this facility started?
Construction was finished in 1994. It started after a number of communities in Jefferson County were holding one-day, single-day events that became very popular and were just too large to be able to handle cost effectively. And so rather than every entity having their own collection event, they partnered to create this facility and have a place that people could come year-round to drop off their waste.
So being open year-round, how much do you collect in a year, give or take?
In 2016, we collected about a little more than 600,000 pounds. And that adds to over 6 million pounds that we've collected since the facility opened in 1994.
So what does that break down to visits by residents? How many visits a year do you see?
In 2016, we had right around 4,300 visits, which is up significantly over previous years. We're doing pretty well this year.
So the residents come here, they drop it off, You take it, then where does it go? What happens? What's the process look like?
The material gets sorted into several different hazard classes, and then it gets shipped off to various locations to either be recycled or properly disposed of. We have less than 1% of all the material we collect is actually landfilled, and it's either recycled or blended into other fuels used for its BTU value.
Pat, I imagine two of the largest items you see are paint and electronics.
Yes, they are. And paint is a household hazardous waste, but it's free to recycle in Colorado through the Paint Care program at specific locations. And Rooney Road Recycling Center is one of those. So you can bring your paint here for free.
So that's not subject to you're up to $20 if it's actual paint.
Correct. Yeah.
Wow.
If you just have paint, you can come up here and make an appointment and bring it all up for free.
And what about electronics?
That's a great question. Electronics by law have to be recycled in this state, and those include items such as computers, computer monitors, TVs, laptops, tablets, printers, mice, keyboards, radios, video consoles, and those are $1.25 a pound, and citizens pay the full cost of recycling for that.
But they can rest assured that if they bring it here, it's going to be recycled in a proper manner and not somehow just end up in a landfill.
Exactly. None of it makes its way to a third world country, and it's all shredded and correctly.
So Pat just mentioned that we recycle responsibly, and we try to ensure that it's done right. What does that look like?
Part of our contract with our facility manager, our contractor that actually handles all the waste, is that all materials are processed in the United States, and all final disposal for anything happens in the United States. So nothing is being shipped overseas to any third world country for handling. Individual components of materials may be sent overseas as a commodity to be used in something, but we're not sending whole electronics or any other materials to be handled outside of the continental United States.
Oh, that's great. That's critically important. All right, well, let's go in and check out the Hasmart. All right, well, we are inside the Hasmart. Yes, you would think that maybe I said hazmat, but this is the Hasmart. Chris, talk to us about what are you doing in here?
Materials that come in where the packaging is in good condition, we're pretty certain that what's inside this container is what's listed on the label, gets set out for people to come by and take home to use. And so by doing that, it helps reduce the demand for new products to be manufactured that could potentially be dumped and disposed of improperly.
So is there a cost involved?
There is no cost. To pick this material up, it's all free.
What an amazing program. And what's cool is this is not just unique to the city of Lakewood, correct?
Right. We have a partnership through an intergovernmental agreement with 9 jurisdictions we have Arvada, Golden, Edgewater, Jefferson County, all the unincorporated parts of Jefferson County, Lakeside, Lakewood, Mountain View, Morrison, and Wheat Ridge.
Well, Chris, thank you very much for having us out here today.
Thank you so much for coming out. It was a pleasure having you.
All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed this segment of Spotlight on Lakewood. And remember, together we'll do great things.